I'm Brigid Kaelin, and I do music stuff. Sometimes it's weird, sometimes it's not, but mostly it's fun. I'm doing a live react today to Taylor Swift's The Last Great American Dynasty. And I'm doing this because I need to listen to this song closely for a project I'm working on. I realize I've heard the song before, but casually in passing, like when my kids were listening to it. I've definitely never heard it on good speakers. And I know that there's a little twist, and I know a couple of lines of imagery here and there, but in general, I wasn't really listening the last time I heard it. So let's check it out. I'll say that I don't really talk about lyrics. I love lyrics and I love to write lyrics, but I try to give you something a little bit different on my channel. So if you're into what is going on musically that helps support the storytelling or what might be interesting, or maybe want to learn a little bit here and there about music theory, my channel is for you. Let's do this. So that's a fifth, it's a G. Electronic, I don't remember that. There's the piano.
On the afternoon train, it was sunny. Her salt box house on the coast took her mind off St. Louis.
What was that? Okay, I have to pause it sometime because otherwise I get in trouble for copyright. But one, I like to kind of think about what instrument she wrote it on. Was it guitar or piano? Though I did just read that Aaron Dessner sent her a track, so the music in the background was probably composed before. It doesn't necessarily mean that the chords were solid, though. It could have just been a beat and a couple of piano chords. Who knows? I guess I could dig into that more, but what I can tell is that it's in G. Becca rode into the afternoon train. There we go. And what was I going to say? I heard some sort of like bizarre electronica thing just before the piano, so I got to go back.
Rebecca rode up on the afternoon train. It was sunny. Her salt box house on the coast took her mind off St. Louis.
So one thing that's interesting here, I'm trying not to pay attention to the lyrics, but the music stuff's actually quite simple going on, which is good for a song like this that has epic lyric qualities. It draws your attention to the lyrics because the music becomes kind of hypnotic. One thing I did notice that jumped out is that there is something called syncopation going on. Musicians, you'll know what that is. It's when there's the main pulse of the song, but the chord changes or the melody changes on the off beat. So if your beat is 1, 2, 3, 4, this song goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it changes before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and just before beat 1 is when your next chord change. So that it kind of forces you to think a little bit faster. You're not quite expecting it yet until you get used to the pattern. So at first it's like there's a very steady electronic thing going on. It's drum programming. It's not real drums. I think there's some real percussion in the background. But the piano being very acoustic, and it is a completely acoustic piano, which I can tell because I can hear the pedal clicks. If you don't have good headphones, I'll link some of my favorites below so you too can hear the pedal clicks.
Bill was the heir to the Standard Oil name and money, and the town said, how did a middle class divorcee do it?
Immediately, this arrangement is brilliant, and I already know that the lyrics to the song are brilliant, and it is really good storytelling. And for one thing, it's because it stuck with me having only heard the song once or twice. Lyrics are not something that normally jumps out at me on my first couple listens unless I'm listening intently. But this one did, so that just, if you zoom out, that's a skill to distract me from the music with your words, because usually I'm all music. What I'm noticing here, though, is something Taylor Swift seems to love to do, which especially when she's writing about old other women like Elizabeth Taylor, she does this in that song a lot too, which is she combines the old with the new. So right now we've got a very acoustic piano happening, and we've got an electronic drum program. And so we've got an electric guitar, but we've got the balance of the acoustic piano. And I think there's actually some sort of regular acoustic percussion happening too. So she's doing this lot of balance, which of course, if you paid attention to the lyrics, also helps tell the story. There's an old story, but the twist is that there's also a new story.
The wedding was charming, if a little gauche.
The melody's very
So far, new money
narrow.
goes. They picked out a home and called it Holiday House. Their parties were tasteful, if a little loud. The doctor had told
my phone's ringing. Hold on. How kind that was. Sorry, it was somebody offering me free Hamilton tickets for tonight. But I'm going to let them go to somebody else because I already have Hamilton tickets for Thursday. All right, off we go. Let me go back just a little bit. Oh, hold on. I want to hear Settle Down. What'd she do musically? Oh, I love that. So just on Settle Down, we were on the 4 chord to settle down, and then we went right back to the 1. So the 1 chord in music, sometimes people call it the tonic or the 1. It's really just whatever key you're in. So if you're in G major, which this song is, G major is your home base. Everything is centered around that note. Things feel really stable when we're singing that note or when we're hearing the chord based on that note, which is a G with these 2 notes there. And so on Settle Down, which is, I think of when you settle down, you find a house. Right after he said, sorry, I'm looking at the lyrics. They pop up on Apple. The doctor had told him to settle down. Doctor had told him to settle down. Immediately after she says settle down, she settles down. Solid choice. Must have been her fault, his heart gave out. And they said, ooh, nice harmonies. Ooh. Is that 2/4? Who knows if she never showed up, what could have been? We keep wanting to go, I keep wanting to change the chord progression here, which is a good thing because when it's too predictable, sometimes you want prediction, but I always like it when I'm wrong because I'm usually not wrong when it comes to chord progressions and guessing. So she did something that I would not have done, which just I love because one that shows me I have so much to learn and I love learning new things. There goes the maddest woman this town has ever seen. I love this electric guitar in my left ear. One thing I'm noticing too, and this is something a lot of people do, Taylor Swift does, this is Aaron Dessner. I was going to say, is this Jack Antonoff? Jack does it a lot. It's a very common move, is to record the main vocal multiple times, identically. But of course, as you know, a human can't double something exactly. And so it's almost like this push-pull of singing with yourself. Now, if you get it close enough to where other people notice, that's kind of the sweet spot, I think, in producing, is that it adds a layer of depth to the main vocal because there's actually more than one, sometimes more than 2 or 3 of you singing the exact same part, but it's not quite so spare. And so especially when you're telling a story that takes place in the past and one about this, which is from a meaningful point about what other people said about this character, it's kind of cool to hear, and it's kind of a little less vulnerable to hear lots and lots of Taylor singing the exact same thing. It's another kind of production and rhythmic arrangement way to say this story has been told from lots of different people. The noodly electric guitar. Oh, she spelled her name Rebecca with a K. The drums seem. Filled the pool with champagne and swam with the big names and blew through the money on the boys in the valley. I love how she says "in the boys in the valley." It's almost like not a song. It's just kind of, you can hear her smile. Listen to that again. Filled the pool with champagne and swam with the big names and blew through the money on the boys in the valley. I love it. It's like a sing, speak, sing. Playful way of singing. I can hear her smile in the song, and I'm laughing because, of course, that's exactly what people say about Taylor Swift, or they were saying at the time. Like, not that she's blowing through the money, but like she's out there just living her best life, dating too much, etc., etc. How amusing this must be for Taylor to look back at other stories and watch other historical figures, women in particular, be treated the same way, and she has a different understanding and different empathy than we do. I'm getting lost in lyrics though, because again, it's very, very, I almost said calculated, but I never want to say calculated in relation to Taylor Swift because I think it's rude, but it's just persistent, and of course is recorded to a drum program, which is, it doesn't make a mistake. It's exactly the right beat. Hold on. Was she doing anything fun when she said Dolly?
The boys in the ballet and losing on card game bets with Dolly. And they said, there goes the last.
I didn't hear anything specific. I did hear kind of a swelling synth right there, but maybe she just wanted to let that rhyme land because Dolly and ballet, that's pretty solid. I think of Dolly and I think of the melting clock, so I almost wanted the time to slow down there. I feel like that's what I would have done. Oh, wait, okay, for a second I thought that I was out of focus. Okay. Stop. I think that maybe the better move is exactly what she did, which is let it land because the rhyme is so good. Yeah, I just rhymed Dolly and ballet. Oh, and they said is doubled. So I'm going to go back and see what she did on the first they said. Let's see.
It must have been her fault his heart gave out. And they said,
Oh, it's very similar. It's on that moment she's singing solo. Really, it's doubled front vocals, but then there's no harmonies. So you're still really only hearing one voice, even though there are technically more than one voice going. I'll explain that in another video. So let me know if you have a question about that in the comments. If you want a separate video for that, I can show you how to record doubles and things. But what happens is that in your left speaker and your right speaker, and they said is other vocals coming in with harmonies and other voices at different volumes, different effects, and it's almost like a gossip party come together to tell you what's about to go on. All right, let me skip ahead to the next they said.
there goes the most shameless.
Oh,
Who knows if she never showed up, what could have been?
we're getting busier guitars.
There goes the most shameless woman this town has ever seen. She had
Aaron Dessner loves that stuff. Does that kind of thing all the time, noodles about. It calls back to a couple other things that I was just writing an essay about. So I shan't give that part away, but
this time
that's why I was listening to this, because I wondered if this song did exactly what I was expecting. All right. So we knew something was going to happen there because those synths started doing kind of rising in volume and in pitch. Listen to them. Yep. Bridge. There's some real percussion going on too. So again, we're mixing the old with the new. It's relentless vocal stacks. You know, we love that twist. And then it was bought by me. I love how she has this building of the bridge. Bridges always build, but there's a building of layers and vocals and old and new instruments going. And then she kind of drops it out on, and then it was bought by me. Like, you're listening, you're now pay attention. Listen. So a lot of those backing things went out. Oh, and then we lost the drums there. Also, I'm going to back up just a little. I want you to listen to how there's a push-pull going on. And this is a live react, so this is the first time I'm actually noticing this. But now I wish that I had like a lesson plan for you. But once the drums drop out, it's hard to keep the beat. I don't think the beat changes. It's still there, but it's not relentlessly pounding. And so we kind of get lost, which is exactly what happens when you are hearing a story of yore, and then, you know, you kind of get lost in the story, what's going on. And then she brings back this, and then it was bought by me, you know, how she loves to do the twist at the end. And guess what? It's me all along. Listen to how you kind of get lost and lose the beat. Oh, I didn't go back enough. So we've got this. And then there go the drums. And then what's happening? There's so much syncopation.
Who knows if I never showed up, what could have been? There goes the
and we're back.
woman this town is
I love it. So who knows what was the lyric? Who knows if I never showed up, what could have been? She says that just as before that, those drums come back in and give order to the chaos that had started to crumble away. So let's go with that as a deep thought there. After that, and then it was bought by me. After the twist, we get kind of things like falling apart and left to the madness. And then she comes back in and she restores order. So there's loose, the house like returning to Nate. Then we're here we go. God, this song is so good. Everything's working together, old and new. Oh, she goes up high. Love that. She's going up high, taking the high road, high society. Lots of things to pull together. Oh, it's like she's singing and dancing like, yeah, you guys say whatever you want. I'm having a marvelous time. There's a lot more drones happening too, which kind of seamlessly connect things together. Just like Rebecca Harkness and Taylor Swift. That was off one. We end on the 4. Love it. Ending on the 4 is an unresolved ending, so we don't know how the story ends, but we hear somewhere else the story has moved on and dreamlike, and the opening has not yet been written. I love it. That was fun. I was listening to that because I needed to put together some thoughts for something I'm writing, and I thought I would share it with you. Thanks for hanging out. Share it with Swifty. Let me know your requests, and I will check you later.